bunch of people start joining.
Okay, good. So yeah, definitely fill out that sign-up sheet. I think Chris reposted it. We need that signed out to know that you're here. It's super easy.
Doesn't Penn mean it's always where you join it?
Huh?
Good job, Hayden.
All right. So is anyone here new? Any new people? Yeah. What's up, bro? What's your name? Will. What's your major? Electrical engineering. How'd you hear about us? Oh, great. Okay, the man. So awesome. Good to have you, Will. If anyone wants to make a new friend, introduce yourselves to Will. So we have 5 committees here at the chapter. Content, finance, public affairs, outreach, and recruitment. If you think any of those sound interesting, you can reach out to the leaders of those organizations. So Jai, he's the head of public affairs. You want to talk a little bit about what you do?
I pretty much on social media. I reach out to other people. Now we're going to be live streaming. I'll be doing YouTube videos and stuff. So if you want to help, reach out to me.
And where's Corey?
Hi, I'm with content. You'll see kind of what we like to do in just a few minutes. We kind of prepare some useful information that's new in cyber every week and we bring it to you guys.
So if you're interested in that, Will. And then finance, Ryan.
I'm finance right now. I'm the treasurer also. So if you'd like to become finance chair, come see me.
Yep. And then we have outreach.
I'm Ryan. I'm doing outreach also with Alex Winkler. So we're supposed to rerun the events, plan the events. Also, in case anybody has some specific say, the reason that we're asking for help is because every semester we're not the people change, right? People go off, people come off, go off, come here. So every semester we're trying to kind of plus up our numbers to build that.
Cool. And then last but not least, recruitment. That's Greg. So. Ooh. All right. So we have some ongoing projects. I'm working on a malware sandboxing lab in our secret room, Cyber 10, before we actually get our actual lab, which I've been told is 2 to 3 weeks. But since it's in academia, I'm going to say 2 to 3 months. But fingers crossed on 2 to 3 weeks. We're working on building our own cyber range. Also on that server we have upstairs, we have 36 terabytes of storage space on it. So I mean, you can do a lot with that. And then we're building that rapid cyber operations center. We got $200,000 grant money for that coming our way within the next couple of weeks, actually. So we might have all of this equipment and no room for it yet. So I mean, hey, if we get the equipment, we can put some pressure on the engineering department to get our damn room on our lab. All right. So announcements. Procter & Gamble visit is set for January 22nd from 2 to 3 p.m. If you want to see their Cyber Defense Center, we have a roster of maximum of 15. Ryan has been taking the lead, talking to, I believe, Gina at Procter & Gamble, setting this up. We have a sign-up sheet for it. If you haven't signed up and you're interested, someone should repost the sign-up sheet. Please put in your information, and we can get you on there and figure out carpooling and all that. Do you have anything to add, Ryan?
Yes. Figuring out carpooling is something that it's easier done while we're all together. So if you're planning on going, stay, and we'll try to sort that out after the meeting. Okay?
We have everybody's number, too, on the sign-up sheet, so we can always reach out that way,
Well,
too.
what we want to do is at least figure out who's driving.
Yeah.
And then break into groups, and then from there we should be fine.
Cool. So we're planning school visits. I want to go to your guys' high schools. I want to go to other high schools that you guys might know teachers at. I've been talking to Bailey about maybe working and maybe doing a Cyber Patriot team at one of these small high schools. We got to do outreach. We got to bring the information of cybersecurity to the high schools and get people excited about it because this is a really awesome field and it's blowing up. So definitely something we want to do. So if you have a high school that you want us to visit or have a teacher that'd be totally down for us to just show up and talk during classroom lesson, just let me know. Hit us up on Slack. See Ryan, myself after the meeting, or Alex. And then last but not least, logo designs. I know Hayden did a nice logo design last week. We're still trying to figure out what exactly we want. But you know, just if you have artistic skills and you want to make a cool logo for us, just let us know. All right, so Chai, do you want to talk about this sexy slide here?
So we're gonna be doing events outside of the chapter, and for that we wanna just be able to text you really quick, even if you don't have GroupMe. So if you just fill out that form, it's on the general chat slot. I'll add you to our chat. We'll be starting live streaming soon, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once we get 25 subscribers, we'll be able to do it from our phones as well. So at events, we can just use our cell phones to live stream. And these are our social media pages. If you guys can follow it, I'll keep everything up to date.
Yeah, if you want, pull up the live stream link and subscribe to our YouTube channel real quick. Be awesome. So if you want to get involved more, follow our public affairs. So our weekly content meeting, Corey, you guys want to take it away?
Which one am I? This one? Alright, so anyone who thinks they might be interested in content, this is kind of what we do. So first thing I want to talk to you guys about is an article I found about botnets that are targeting ARC processors. So I'd actually not heard about ARC processors before, but the article was kind of featuring this thing. This guy's like, oh my god, I think I just found the first malware written for ARC processors. So I started reading up a little bit more about what they are. So not the first malware for ARC processors, but it is very rare to see a malware written for them, though. So obviously, probably not the biggest focus on cybersecurity with these types of devices. So anytime we do see malware for these, it's probably going to be something pretty big. An ARC processor, ARC stands for Argonaut RISC Core. It's these 32-bit CPUs. They're real small. Basically, it's an embedded chipset, and it's really popular. It's the second most popular type of CPU core in production, apparently, which I found pretty surprising, seeing as I'd not heard of it before I found this article. But it's shipped in over 2 billion products every single year. So, pretty popular. And you guys might remember the Mirai botnet. We've discussed it in here, as well as other versions of it that have been based off of it, like Reaper. I've also discussed a little bit more in depth here. This is another version of the Mirai botnet. It's Linux Mirai Elf. This is the malware that was kind of used for this. It's been used for against other types of chipsets and operating systems, and this is a version that was made specifically for ARC processors. It was discovered by this team called Malware Must Die. They're a malware research group, and this malware is obviously pretty important because Mirai, it just kind of breaks in, it sets up the botnet on these devices, and then suddenly, boom, they've got control. They can use it for whatever they want to use their botnet for. This is a little bit of information. I couldn't find a lot of detail about how ELF malware works. I was able to find a little bit about why it can be so dangerous, because it's really hard to find it, because it's kind of just waiting in the device's memory. The only way to find it is to really dig down into the system's memory and look for it. These 3 links, the first one is going to give you some more information about what an ARC processor is. The second link is a little bit of information about Linux Mirai Elf. That's the malware that this was primarily based off of before it was modified for ARC processors specifically. And then this third one is a little bit about just this malware being found itself. So I really recommend going and looking more into that, guys. This other one I want to talk about is an Intel AMT vulnerability. This isn't something you probably need to worry about a hacker using remotely, but this is something that could definitely be used by someone sneaky with corporate sabotage, because it's very dangerous, but it requires physical proximity to the device you want to make vulnerable. So what it is in about a minute, 30 seconds or so, the attacker can make a computer completely vulnerable to remote access, change passwords, get complete command and control of the device because of a feature that Intel has called AMT, Active Management Technology, which is initially designed so IT admins would be able to more easily manage their fleet of devices. You know, you got 1,000 employees, they've all got a computer. And so this feature is mostly meant to make it easier for them to manage these devices. And what it is the attacker could reboot the PC, and on boot up, they can use Control P, which will let them go into this MEBX boot up, which if they don't change the passwords for their Intel ATM setup, it's just defaults to the password of admin. Yeah, awesome. They can just go in, they can completely bypass any sort of BIOS passwords, user passwords, BitLocker passwords. They can bypass all of it and get straight into your device, and they can change all of those passwords. They can allow remote login, all that stuff. The link in here has a demonstration of it. The guy like hits like 3 or 4 keys, boom, he's in, and he doesn't even need a script or anything. It's crazy. I didn't actually do this one. You edited it. Did you want to cover it, or? Okay. Yes.
On that last one, is that like something that's installed? I mean, is that feature like with most Intel?
It's a feature for Intel, but I don't think it's actually activated by default. But most corporate computers will be susceptible to it. Yeah. So basically, just make sure that you change your password if you want to have Intel AMT on a corporate laptop. Do you want to?
Yeah, it's fine here.
Okay.
So basically, you know how you get a new laptop, you install updates just to make sure everything's up to date. So a lot of times that can also happen when you're programming. You want to get some latest software, so you download everything without looking at it. That's pretty bad. And even for browsing, you're told not to just generally download stuff. You want to go look for it, make sure it's from HTTPS, it's from a safe website, all of that. Well, while programming, there's a lot of people, including myself, I've done this as well. I just go to a repository, download some latest software, just get the bells and whistles. And this can also happen in Linux as well. When you go to the PPA repositories, there's a lot of stuff for there. And someone actually found this out and discovered a quick and sneaky way to get some malware in there. They created a small package that it did some small functionality. Oh, sorry.
Someone wrote an article on this. They didn't actually do it at the end. They were like, just kidding, they didn't do it. But
Oh, they did. I thought they did though.
No, they said at the end they didn't.
Oh. Well, theoretically, someone wrote a package that could attach onto many different projects, and people could just tack it onto their repository list, auto-download it, and that would get filtered into their program. That could kind of branch out to many other projects, and people wouldn't even know it, because it's custom coded, wouldn't be registered by any antiviruses.
Yeah, I mean, this is a common thing, even with like basic Linux packages. You do an apt-get install, and you just find package you think is normal, but sometimes people will have packages in some of these repositories that are spoofed entirely. So when you download them, you don't get the actual legitimate package.
And actually, I just remembered something. There's a link posted. Someone from ACM made a Google Chrome extension for Rate My Professors that recently got taken down because there was a web sniffer in some package that he got. So he had to take it down completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on this note, I was reading the CrowdStrike global intel report, and one of the big things that they were noticing in global thing is that hackers are attacking the global supply chain for software. Okay, so has anybody ever went to a site to download where it gave you an MD5 output? How many people actually check it? Half the time. We should probably cover that at least once. Of like, here, this is what you need to be able to check it, validate it. Because the reason that those are becoming more and more common is because of the proliferation of malware that's designed to attack the software repositories all over the internet. Okay? So they're doing it because if they can build in malware into what you consider trusted repositories or trusted sources, okay, you'll never be able to root it out.
There's a
It's going to be solved.
there's a really big compromise. Like last semester, like maybe a couple months ago, while I was at Siemens, and it caused quite a stir because some hackers had gotten a backdoor into the development test systems for, I forget exactly what the antivirus company was. I don't know if it was Kaspersky or another one, but it was a pretty big deal because they found out in their systems, oh shit, people are pushing and making changes to our development code before we push our updates, and we just caught them doing that. So that was kind of a stir. But it's true, if you're going to be an advanced persistent threat these days, you might as well target the legitimate software companies in the development life cycle, so they do all the work for you and get the shit on the machine. Like the seat cleaner, they got popped,
Right.
Yeah, because at least some of you guys here are probably going to end up going into development as your career. You are going to be a really juicy target for any sort of cyber attack, because as a developer, you almost always have significantly more privileges than the average employee. And when you're not the security person, typically you are less aware of the threats coming in, and you're a lot easier to get into than a security admin. So the developer is going to be really prime targets. So you'll probably see a whole lot more stuff like this in the future.
That, those EV5 checks, it's going to become best practices, like standard protocols, we just always have to do. So any of us that download libraries, download software, we're going to have to do that. And this is going to have to be out.
All right, so I think we're going to start our introduction to ethical hacking. So Chris, you put together these slides. So thank you, Chris. These slides are great. And this is kind of the meat. This is our first introduction to the course. So if you guys have any questions or want to go deeper on any topic, just let us know. Chris?
All right, just to start off with, this is going to be more of a boilerplate of Certified Ethical Hacking, CEH. This covers the general flow of the program, as really over the topics. And then presentations after this will be more involved. They will have interactable little mini labs kind of that you can all follow with. Unfortunately, the first chapter doesn't have that. This is just simple stuff to go over. So here's the topics we'll be going over. Very high level, not going to get too technical today. Analysis and assessment, security, procedures and methodology, and ethics. Why are we here? The NSA is here to stop a digital 9/11. We are here to stop him. Yeah. The word hacker was coined pre-1990s. It meant just people like us with free time, and hacker was a spin-off of that, people doing malicious things visually. Today it's been kind of mutated by media, and now it's split up into three main areas. We have white hats for people like us who are trying to make the world more secure. We have gray hats who are doing things without permissions. They usually don't have good reputations and don't last long in the field. And then we have black hats, which are the bad guys. So over the past 10-15 years, we've seen a huge rise in attacks. Because as things become more valuable online using web services, people will attack them more because they can make money out of it. We have denial of service, identity theft, internet vandalism, ransomware. Ransomware is huge right now. It's only getting bigger. We have spyware, cross-site scripting, which is just a flaw that people are exploiting, and phishing, which is just people. And the motivation for digital crime has always been money, and it always will be money. Unless you're a nation state. It's a little different. And that's a low number. It's $2 billion in ransomware profits last year.
And y'all want to see a cool ransomware, like piece of software, look up Server, CERVER. It's VMware, and we're selling online.
Nice. Yeah. So everyone in here obviously has multiple digital devices connected to the internet. I've actually had this on me for probably the last 3 years. I've never put it down, and it's connected to the internet. It's a perfect spy tool. It has a camera and records audio, and everything I do I put into it. My personal information, my payment information, and the information of people close to me. And it's a business doing this. All right, so some generic cybercrime examples. We have stealing data, passwords, usernames that you can use to get personal information like credit cards and social security numbers. Network intrusion, that's getting into a network that you don't have permission to be on. It's not as huge as an issue, but it usually leads to other things. Social engineering, this includes spam and phishing emails. So the easiest point of a system to attack is always the people, just about always. So people, there's actually a big study done on this on USB drops, I think in Illinois recently. I might be wrong. They dropped 300 USBs and more than 50% of them were plugged into a computer and opened the files by random people. We have the sharing of legal material. We all know what that is. Scum of the earth do that. Not all legal material. Some people are awful. Yeah. We have fraud, malware, denial of service attacks again, and ransomware. Code of ethics. For us to learn how to hack systems, we obviously have to conduct ourselves properly. There's a large code of ethics that the CEH, it's not very large, it's like 20 points. CEH holders are expected to follow, or else they can actually have their certification revoked. I'm not going to go too in-depth into this. It basically says don't be a dick with your computer. So CEH and penetration testing. So penetration testing usually involves being contracted by a client to go into their systems and hack into them, attack them. So you need to properly handle client data. You always need to make sure that you have permission to do what you are doing in writing. Verbal agreements never count with penetration testing, as you cannot back up a verbal agreement. Does everyone know what the CIA triad is? Does anyone not know what it is? So CIA triad is, oh, crap, I forgot. What's the C? Okay, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. You need to keep your client's data confidential. You need to make sure no one's changed it, and you need to make sure only you can access it. Here's the general steps of approaching a hacking simulation. First part, you want to gather information. This includes finding information out about the company, their client, their systems, and their people. Entry, this is actually getting into the system and then trying to get to a higher level. So say you scan a domain server and you get in and you take the administrator domain password after that. And then persistence, you want to cover your tracks and you want to be able to get in and do all of this immediately.
This is also referred to as the cyber kill chain.
Yeah.
I'll post a link inside.
The APT lifecycle is also pretty close to this, although there's a few extra steps. They're mainly focused on this one. Things to keep in mind when you're hacking. What information do you use to help the client? Because after all, we are trying to help people. Or what is what you're doing allowed to be done? If you take down the client's domain server and they can't do any work for the whole business day, it's going to be a very large loss of money for certain people. And you don't want to be responsible for that. And if you do that, you need to understand what will happen. Right. Attack vectors. So there's usually about 4 different ways you can approach a hacking simulation. You can be a malicious insider. That's someone inside the company who's maybe not happy about how much they're being paid. And they're going to start selling out company secrets. External attacker from the outside. That's pretty obvious. External attacker from the inside. So if you have stolen equipment or network access, that's what that would be. An external attacker from the inside through social engineering. You could be physically going into the building and talking your way to their server room, or sending phishing emails and then backing up on them in person. If you go on a pen testing engagement, you should discuss all of these with your client and understand which one you would like to do when you arrive. Again, the goal is to help the client. You can't just tell anyone that, hey, your network sucks, pay me. That doesn't work. You need to fully document all of your findings and discuss them with the client later so you can help them fix their systems. Some fixes for vulnerabilities will have negative impacts on the system, so you must be aware of this and discuss this with your client. Vulnerability research and tools. So does everyone know what a CVE is? Who doesn't know what a CVE is? A CVE is a common vulnerability and exposures document. It basically details a flaw in a system and how it can be exploited and which system it affects. There's a website here, CV MITRE. MITRE basically maintains a huge database of every one of these imaginable, and they're actually the authority, so they assign the numbers. If you just go into this website, you type in Windows 10, I think I did it last Friday, and there was 20 new exploits for Internet Explorer just that Friday. So yeah. You can typically use tools like OpenVAS and Nessus to scan through a network and find the CV numbers corresponding to exploits that may or may not be there.
OpenVAS is awesome. It's free.
It's actually almost the same tool.
Hmm?
Nessus used to be free.
Yeah, Nessus did used to be free, and then they changed it.
OpenVAS is actually a fork of it.
2010, yeah. OpenVAS is great, though.
Yeah.
Really cool tool.
We'll go over that later. It's actually one of the sections is how to use those. Hopefully. So different tools appear and disappear almost every day. Nessus used to be free, now it's not. But OpenVAS has kind of filled that hole, so you just need to be aware of what's going on. Vulnerability research. Title of this slide is not the same as ethical hacking. Usually you're more involved in fuzzing with certain pieces of software or systems, but the fields overlap significantly. We've got a pop quiz. Does anyone want to go over a few example questions from the textbook? I have a textbook I'm pulling all this from, by the way. All right.
Someone should volunteer and answer.
So you're not like,
It's like vulnerability versus threat.
oh,
Probably should more context then. Yes, unchecked user input is a huge vulnerability. You can do SQL injection and other forms of injection through that.
It's a really cool thing I have in the links channel, which basically is a huge database of a bunch of SQL injection.
How are black box tests performed? I didn't put any context for these, too bad. Which one? Yep. Black box refers to a diagram where you have no knowledge of an object, so you fill it in with black. Which of the following do you need to evaluate a client system? Pretty much A through C, but the most important is permission, B. The group anonymous is an example of what? Right, most people are going to go with C on that one. I think the test would go with C. You could argue that they're terrorists, but
I'm pretty sure they had a anti-terrorist person here. At some point.
okay, it may have been elevated then.
why aren't they considered great hats?
Gray hats?
Yeah,
Because they're not trying to help people.
I thought like some of their, I don't know, or some of the stuff that they did was like the purpose of it was to help people.
No. It's to be malicious towards people who are being bad.
Okay.
If they were going through websites and finding injectable areas without permission and then reporting them to the systems administrators, that would be a gray hat.
Okay.
No. They're just doing website defacement typically. And vulnerability research involves which of the following? Anyone? It's A. Right. I'm out of slides.
It's passive discovery accident.
I guess so. I don't know. I took this one out of the book. It's a little frustrating. All right. So, what do you guys think about the first chapter presentation? Too much information? Not enough information? It's good. All right. There's not a whole lot of. Yeah, they were like that in the book, and I was like, I know this, that's fine. But now I say them, there's no context.
You see the answer, you're like, okay, now that I understand the background and context,
Right.
like the black box one. It's like,
It's all about inference. I don't know. Anything else? Right. The rest of the chapters in the book typically have hands-on activities that we can all do together. Things like Google hacking, looking for exposed items and servers online. So, is that cool with everyone? If we do that next week? I have the book. If anyone wants the book, message me on Slack. I'm Chris Morrison, and I will send it to you personally.
Hardcover?
Yeah, hardcover. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
For the small fee of $550 per person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on my library, which I think is published in the Slack somewhere, but it's probably been bumped up. All right. Anything else? No? All right, then I'm done.
So, I just want to kind of pull a question around because I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. So, I read an article, I think it was last night, about how Google Zero Day decided to go ahead and disclose all of the information and the proof of concept about a vulnerability in a BitTorrent component that allows an attacker to take command and control. But Google only decided to wait 50 days to disclose it, which the typical wait period is 3 months or 90 days. And they decided the reason for disclosing it was because when they told the developers about it, they gave a ready-made patch to the developer. And they would not be fixed 50 days later, so they decided to disclose it. So I don't know if around the room, you guys think that would be the correct thing to do, or unfortunately that continues in place.
I think it was Anna's organization. It was a pretty bad one.
I think it gets to the core of one of the problems here, which is cybersecurity or security of the system costs money. But money makers don't like to pay it. They want to avoid that cost up as much as they can. So you have to make them do it somehow. That's basically what their decision is. But security kind of costs everything. Also,
What were your names again? Yes. So, they're from the law school. Let's take a seat. Yeah.
So actually, you guys might be perfect for the question I just posed to the group.
Did you already finish all this? Don't take this. Don't take down yet. Don't take that down yet. Shut off. Not know how to reframe it. Alright. Well, the camera shut off, and so how did you get it back up? Let's see. Why can't I move the mouse over? Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm on the other screen. That's why I can't. Where's the window for that? There. Come on. So the rest of this thing's been pushing along. So that should be the live stream right now. Yeah, I have to. You guys could draw all the questions. Yeah, we got through the questions. So. Are you trying to restart the live stream? Just trying to get the camera back up. Trying to get the camera back up. Say again? I know it's being charged right now through the USB cable. I'll have to figure out a better solution for this next time.
The other thing is we got the stupid squares on people's faces.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to turn that off. Also, all the live stream here right now is us.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hi, live stream.
There's it gone.
Oh, it is. Cool.
Yeah, I realized I was watching the live stream.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And I was just thinking,
Well, we're still learning. We'll get there one day. And we'll hopefully get better mics so we can like pick up the conversations going out through everyone.
yeah, I've got a decent like mic that I could bring in. It's not great, but it's something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, okay. I
You'll
don't know
have
why.
to show me how to do this.
All right. I don't think it's working. I think we just give up on the webcam.
They should have
Okay.
done that. But I mean, they did wait.
We got audio, that's what matters.
They've accepted industry standard, it's 90 days. So it's not like any sort of rule.
Sorry, live stream.
90 days.
I'd say it's a gray area. I'd say you probably should patch it if you get told about it. Either way, but I don't know, man.
So it's just something for people to think about, because if you go into cybersecurity, it's probably something you're going to deal with.
So, I think we've finished the certified ethical hacker intro. I can recap it real quick just for those who just showed up. Okay. Yeah, Slack actually. So if you get out your laptops, yeah, we have Slack. That's what we use for everything here. So if someone wants to help them out with that, it'd be awesome. In the meantime, this is what we're gonna do here. We got Slack. I think we're streaming it right now. What's up, Robbie?
So they can also just go back and use that.
We do be able to send it to me. We're going to be editing it.
You can sit anywhere, bro. Just anywhere's fine.
Oh, okay, you said you weren't sure if there's audio on there? There should be audio. Okay.
Is this general? Is this gonna work? Try and click on. Okay, there we go. All right, so I thought this would be a cool thing to look at. So we just got featured in InfoSec magazine very recently. I did a little interview for forum. So I posted the link to the article in Slack. So I think it's cool because we are getting our name out there. People are going to start really catching on and noticing us. This is a link to our website on it, which is badass because our website is, it's looking pretty good. For you new guys that just showed up, I'll show you the website too. Shout out to Evan for putting it together, and I think Hayden wants to help out on this too. But we need to get something else in here other than stock photos. But hey, yeah, look at this. But see how it's animated? That moves. Some next level stuff right there. So yeah, we got our website up and running. If anyone has any recommendations on stuff we should do, stuff we should change, please let us know. But this stock photo, I don't know where this one came from. Man. Stockimages.com. So yeah, that's that. Cool. So I guess I want to move on to something a little bit more personal, since we've kind of talked about the technical stuff already, and I've shown you kind of what we're doing, how we're getting featured. Social events. So I would like this chapter to have more of like a social aspect to it, so we're not just only talking about techie stuff every Wednesday, but we kind of go out and get to know each other a little bit more. So I think, who put together the social event survey? Was that you, Corey? Yeah. You want to post that again real quick? Yeah. I would really appreciate it if you guys fill out the social event survey. We've been thinking about a couple things, but I kind of want to have like an open conversation. Is anyone down for like beat-ups tomorrow? Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow? Just in a short time? I'm not paying, dude. You guys are? Alright. Because I might hit everybody up on Slack and then we can go to Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow and get some chicken and beer. Yeah, beer. Maybe one day we'll go to Run Guys. That'd be fun. But as far as other social events, I know some people showed interest in board game night. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to throw out? Any ideas? Anything they think would be cool? Days to meet?
Basically, what's going on is
Yeah. We could.
I'm down for that.
Sit down and watch TV.
We want to make it more social, so we want to be having social events kind of continually throughout the semester. Because usually we get busy during the semester, so attendance at the meetings have a tendency to fall off when people get too busy with homework and stuff. And so the social events will be something that we use to help kind of keep us moving together. And yeah, so we just really want interest, people who are interested, let us know that type of events would be fun and give us ideas, and then show up.
Have you ever done escape room games at all?
I love escape the room games, bro. I haven't done those. That would be a great idea, man.
There's a whole show.
We got teams. We got teams. There's remember Mad Tree Brewery is? Mad Tree.
I've heard of them.
They're another local brewery. They have a escape the room challenge right around them. So the escape the room challenge is you get thrown into like a building, so it's all controlled, but they'll put you in like a room or a couple of small rooms, and doors will be locked, and there'll be mysteries set, and you have to like decipher riddles and other stuff, and find keys and unlock stuff, and do it all in the right order to escape the room. So there's a really good one. I went by the one in Mad Tree. You get to like go through this like 2 or 3 rooms, open up a garage, and search through all this shit in the truck. It's a lot of fun. It's also like a zombie one.
Yeah, the zombie. I've never done the zombie one.
I did the zombie one. Yeah, it was cool. But no, that'd be a good idea, except that requires money. We need money. That's so fundraising ideas. Does anyone have any ideas of who we can collaborate? Or like fundraising?
Does anybody invest in Bitcoin?
I have a question. This was like I said this before you brought up marketing. Does OWASP provide any funds for their chapters?
That's odd because like I've talked to Andy Willingham, the president of Cincinnati OWASP, and like asked him about funding and stuff. And to be official members of OWASP, like if you were actually official professional members, you have to pay a fee, which they don't require for like student groups. I've contacted everyone I needed to through OWASP and they have us in the books, but they aren't the most responsive or helpful. So it's something to look into. But I think in the meantime, the best way we could go about getting funds for chapters, maybe like having something Cincy barbecue or something where we can partner with one of these places. Mr. Sushi might be able to fundraising there. X amount of everyone's purchases goes to CyberCrime. But I don't know. Oh, we like to go to Mr. Sushi a lot, so if anyone's down for that, you can do it. Any other ideas? Social events, I would like to have a LAN party.
The only problem with the LAN party is we will need the hardware to set one up. So if you know someone maybe in like UCIT or something who can lend the hardware.
LAN party at LAN.
We need is a switch. Yeah, we don't.
I have switches.
I
have a few switches.
Chapter.
I have like a million switches.
Yeah.
We all big enough file chapter or
Yeah, we could get a room. We up to this point. We
we can rent a room and then we also need to figure out well,
We could do
some of the rooms that we need
Yeah. We'll get switch. Oh, that one.
Shit, I didn't know that. That would be the same. I didn't start with oh, the one, the Galactica one, the thing where you go after different planets. I don't know. I just think it's so much about. Yeah, that. Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, so, yes. No. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
No, it's an entire space combat game, and you can only use SQL.
That's great. Oh yeah, Jai just posted a group meet. This is super important. Should totally get on our group meet so we can actually all organize this outside of Slack. Wait. Oh, and have all of you guys already signed up on Slack? ucyber.slack.com. Okay. Yeah, so that's how you'll get all of our updates, and we'll add you to our email list. Yeah, sorry for you guys that showed up a little late. You missed all the content. You know, next week we'll have more cyber sexy.
We should have the video of this of this up there before too long.
Yeah, we're planning on doing videos like outside of the live streams. So like we'll take the video, trace it, we'll edit it out. We'll have like the watermark and like the social media stuff on it.
You want to pitch that again? Just ask again if anybody wants to help with that.
Oh, we have 2 minutes for that. And Trey. And then I'll post them on the so I want to like make a couple first.
Yeah, just to figure it out.
I have a cheap mic. Okay, you're.
So, you guys have to tell me how the live stream went. I don't know. Are we still live streaming?
We are.
Okay. People who are on the live stream, let me know how it went. Post in Slack. Post in YouTube comments. Damn it. Oh well. So shoot. So, at this point, I don't know why this is scrolling. We've pretty much wrapped up all we wanted to cover for today. So feel free to stick around and mingle amongst each other. I literally have no clue why this is doing this. I got no clue. So someone has a Bluetooth mouse. What is going on? I don't know what this even is. But yeah. Well, I like Discord a lot. I should. Yeah. Let Chris answer. What do you want to say? I like that. I like Discord's voice chat capabilities. It's a lot better.
You can screen share.
I have a Discord.
You can screen share start a phone call on Discord. What? Through a phone. If you call somebody, you can screen share. This is really cool.
I have a cyber Discord.
So like.
That's true. I'm just saying, one of the reasons why
Does Slack have that? No. Slack does have calls. You can't call. I don't know why.
I believe Slack Enterprise. See, that tag got made. See, Discord was made by gamers for gamers. They know they don't want to tag it. You see stuff. I bought an extra.
Maybe one day we'll switch to Discord. Everything's in Slack. I have a Discord too.
Figures 8 megabytes.
What were you saying, Cord?
Where is he using Discord? You guys want to
Yeah, we have gaming Discord.
Who wants to play Galactic?
Look at that. So in future meetings, would you guys rather have more hands-on stuff, or are you enjoying kind of like the lecture kind of style? Switch it up at all? I think it is going to be a little bit of both. I don't know if anyone's like, no, I hate just looking at slides. Rather,
Yeah, no, one thing about this organization is we do a lot with Linux. Highly recommend that you have either a VM with enough RAM, running whatever Debian-based distribution you'd like. I say Debian. Or Kali. You could dual boot it, have a bootable USB or the VM, but we use Linux a ton. It is Debian though, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry. It's Debian. Oh, that's how you pronounce it.
It should
It's
be.
Debian. God,
It should be Debian.
I think it's Debian. I don't know.
I used to buy him.
Yeah, Debian. I used to call it Debian and then I got shit on by someone. So. Called Debian.
I just use like our most of them are like.
Seeing as it's not GNU Linux, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sure it's
That was
not
hilarious.
I'm pretty sure it's not DBN.
Who was talking in the class this morning about Unix and Linux?
I don't know, there was some guy like in the front lab.
There you go. That was pretty funny. He was just like completely wrong.
It wasn't regular. Oh, by the way, anyone who joins the group, I totally vote on the poll I made.
Here we go. We don't just get everything.
Yeah. Big wasn't said it was good.
Huh?
Someone on Slack said it was good.
Oh, really? They said it.
Bye, YouTube.
Over notes.
Bye, YouTube.
Oh my god, where's the button? Where?